What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 747 of The O Show. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Jack O'Hara TV. We are live from the hot chick in Old Town Scottsdale with Mr. Cool himself, Mr. Buck Wise.
Hey, thank you, man.
Welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure, and I'm so excited to be on The O Show.
The O Show. He was in radio for 20 years. He knows how this works.
Man, you're making me sound old. 20 years.
How old are you?
I started when I was 18. That's the key.
There you go.
I was 18. I worked for iHeartRadio in Tampa, Florida on 93.3 FLZ.
That's crazy.
That was it.
And it's crazy that Jacqueline reached out to me because I'm like, I know I've been following Buck Wise on social media for a couple of years now. Like, I know who Buck is. He wants to come on my platform.
Of course, man.
Anytime.
I saw what you were doing here in Arizona, and I love connecting with local entrepreneurs. So I said, any chance I get to come on and add value, your community deserves it. So let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
We originally first met at John Malot's mastermind in Las Vegas 3-4 months ago. And to prove it to everybody, I have all of his notes.
Let's see.
So,
any good notes?
All of the notes.
Did I say anything?
Failure equals growth. Create and make connections with community. Strategy is the best idea.
That's right. That's right.
All the notes right here. And we'll get that later, Anthony.
I was literally talking about failure equals growth today. My first agency I ever started, I was doing $40,000 a month, and I thought that was a shit ton of money. And I had a mentor who said, I will help you grow faster under this condition. One, you do every single thing I tell you to do. You commit to yourself, you commit to the tasks. Number three, you pay me $25,000 a month. Keep in mind, this is more than 50% of what I'm bringing in, right? And I mean, talk about being scared, talk about not knowing what's gonna happen, being a little afraid to spend a lot of money. And I really, when people ask me, like, how did you create so much success at such an early age? It really is the ability to take fear and blow through it. I look for fear. I look for areas where I'm like, ooh, that makes me nervous. If it makes you nervous, that means there's something good on the other side of it.
Right.
So, it's funny. I meet with entrepreneurs all the time that want to work with Closing Day Agency, my marketing agency, and a lot of them are like, here's $100,000, do whatever we need to do to make it happen. But then you meet people who are like, ooh, 10 grand, 5 grand. Oh, how big do you want your business to be?
Yep.
How big do you want your career to be? How big do you want your business to be? Guys, you gotta spend money to make money. You gotta find partners with people like you who are out there doing it. People who have put in the time, put in the sweat, who have the equity to show.
That's right.
The results to show it, you know?
That's right. Actions speak louder than words. It's like the number one, the cheesiest, most bland saying in the world. It's old as time, basically, that saying. But it's like, I'd rather take action and fall flat on my face 10 times than just think like, strategy-wise, this would be cool, but then never take that first step.
I think the problem is there's too many thought leaders who are giving advice and they don't have results. So people are afraid, the problem is people are afraid to make investments now because there's so many bad entrepreneurs making bad decisions with people who've never actually done it. So the best question you can ever ask anybody that you're going to work with is, show me your results. Show me the amount of, show me your bank account. Literally, if you're gonna spend 50 grand, 20 grand, 10 grand with someone, be like, show me your profit loss, show me your P&L. Show me how much money you're making other people. You can give advice all day, you can be a thought leader on Instagram all day, but I mean, money talks.
That's right. And how many social media influencers are out there?
A lot.
They got the verification, they got the 20,000 to 100,000 followers, whatever, but then it's all just BS. And I think you can see right through it too.
Nothing to back it up.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you can go on some of their posts and be like, oh, they got 13 likes on this picture, but you have 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it's not a real audience, no real community, meaning they don't have real influence, right? What they have is the appearance of influence.
Yeah, and they have the ego behind it too to
some of them
build it, I guess.
But consumers are smart. So they're slowly starting to figure this out. You and I knew this 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We would see somebody with 100,000 followers and they get 2 likes and 3 comments. And you and I knew, we were like, that's not real. Mm-hmm. Now, my mom, 70 years old, she knows. Mm-hmm. She's like, but they have no comments. I don't trust them.
Yep.
Like now everybody knows. And what's so funny is you can see even people who made it, who are genuinely successful, you can see the sadness in their account because they have 300,000. It just shows their ego. They paid back in the day. Everybody tried it, right? I tried it, full disclosure, I tried it, but I tried it with like 1,000 here, 1,000 there.
Yeah.
So if you look at my account, I'm gonna say I'm at like 35,000 followers on, let's say, Instagram, right? Call me a micro-influencer. That's not real influence.
Right.
My community are entrepreneurs that want to learn how to grow and scale. This isn't millions. This isn't Grant Cardone status. This isn't Tony Robbins status. I don't have massive influence, but I'd say probably 80% of that account is active. The other 20% were experiments, or a bot got a hold of me, or whatever it is. Every account has a ratio of real versus fake, but consumers are smart and they know. People can smell it, they see it, which is why it's harder than ever for entrepreneurs, coaches, businesses to market, because the average consumer does not trust, and they really don't trust influencers. There's a new stat came out last week. 90% of consumers don't trust influencers at all. So the new strategy is micro-referral, meaning you and me. The new strategy is brands want to work with us because they know my 20,000 buys from me. They know me, they trust me, they talk to me. I don't have like a sales team in my DMs trying to talk to other people and sell things. It's me. You're having it with, you follow me right now here, your editor can put it, About Buck is my Instagram, and you say hi, you're gonna get, when you follow me, you're gonna get a video back.
Yep.
You're gonna get one of the, hey, thank you so much for following me, I appreciate it. It's the real deal. And so that's what brands are looking for now, is micro-influence. They don't like the big million-person follower. They don't get conversions with big influence.
It seems more genuine, more intimate.
That's it.
Like, oh, Buck's just a genuine, down-to-earth guy.
Yeah.
Versus, say, Grant, right? Who's got his 3 million followers, and he obviously is a very big influencer.
He has a lot of equity.
Right?
He's spent a lot of time. The key with Grant is, the word is trust. The word is trust. That's what gets anyone to buy anything from your business. Do they trust you? Do you trust me right now, or do I sound like I'm full of shit? If you trust me, you'll probably follow me. But then guess what I have to do? That doesn't mean you're gonna buy. It's called nurture. So 70% of the success of any campaign, if you're taking notes watching this podcast, which you should, because the O Show brings so much value. So what you should do is write this down. 70% of any campaign, the success relies on nurture. Me getting your attention, look, you're watching this right now, I got your attention. I used his show for leverage to find you. That was the easy part. You're cold, you barely know me, you don't know who I am, you don't know I've worked with Starbucks, Nike, Google, none of my experience. You don't know that I've built $1 million agencies and sold them to the world's largest holding company. But now it's my job to earn credibility with you and earn trust with you so that you one day want to purchase whatever it is we're doing, or whatever it is I'm selling, or whatever I'm partnering on. It's all in the nurture, not in the cold.
Can you guys tell that he's done this before, once or twice?
What's that?
Podcasts, speaking engagements, just talking in general, right?
I love it. I really do love it, though.
When you first started, because radio, for as many years as you did, were you extroverted growing up, or were you introverted?
Introverted.
Me too. You couldn't get 2 words out of me, and then I'm like, I want to be a talk show host. My parents are like, are you sure?
You know why? Because this doesn't intimidate me, or it didn't intimidate me. Back in the day, I didn't want to be in a big room filled with people. And so TV and radio were easy. You just had to know, like, your crew back here, the mic guy, you knew 3 or 4 people. This is easy. The problem is, the issue is, most people, they look into that lens and they think of the thousands or millions of people watch. I've never done that. So I have a switch that just cuts it. Like I'm thinking of a target. Right now, when you hear me have this conversation, I'm thinking, as you and I are having a conversation, one, I'm thinking, is what I'm saying helping somebody? That's number 1. 2, is that person an entrepreneur? 3, how can I connect with that entrepreneur? My target is entrepreneurs. So I'm thinking of a persona. I'm not thinking of like, what's your biggest podcast? How many people watch?
Biggest podcast.
How many people watched on YouTube? You have like,
I think it was our interview with Magic Johnson.
How much?
30,000 views.
I'm not thinking of 30,000 people right now.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking of 5,000 or even 1,000. Who knows? My name will probably only get you 500 views.
No, I'm sure we're good.
See.
We're good.
We'll see. But I don't think of that. I think of adding value, and who is that one person? I talk about this in marketing all the time. Wide net or spearfish, right? I'm not going for everybody. I'm going for that one unique individual. The business doing over $1 million in revenue that wants to do more and is willing to invest to grow. That is who I'm having very specific dialogues with.
Yeah, because they want to grow, but it's up to you to convince them, like, we can exponentiate what you're doing.
And I'll do it over time, because I'm going to just keep adding value. I'm going to keep giving information. I'm going to give you advice that you can take, implement into your business immediately, and you'll go, damn, why didn't I think of this before? You know what? I should follow that guy on Instagram. Here it is again, about Buck. I should follow that guy. I should ask him a couple more questions. Hey, Buck, do you ever work with medical companies? I never heard if that's, that's usually what I get. It's like, hey, I hear you're real smart with marketing, but like, what about beauty or cosmetic? Have you ever done it? What about food or retail? Like, usually people think that their business is unique. People think that their business is special. I mean, this is the sad truth. All business is the same. It's an equation that operates and runs the exact same way. So the answer is yes, I work with everybody.
Well, it's funny how many videos on YouTube, like YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels now. Reels are the big thing these days. More than half of it, I'd say like 80% of it is all crap almost.
Totally.
Like what you're getting, like with all these like influencers. And
it's regurgitated
stupid
crap.
Videos on dogs and cats and whatever. But then there's like life insurance, there's medical, like you said, like pharmaceuticals, like things that people actually need. The problem is, how do you make that interesting when creating that brand, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've run into clientele all the time where it's like, like you ever think about like medical sales? It's like, how are we going to make that sexy from a branding standpoint?
You know who thinks it's sexy? People who need it.
Yep.
That's who thinks it's sexy. So, the problem is when we think of brands that we don't think are sexy, it's because we're not the target.
Yeah.
We don't need it. If I was dying of cancer, I guarantee you that cancer treatment is sexy for me at that moment, and I'm going to research every ounce of it to figure out how to save my life. So it's all about demand, it's all about need, it's about understanding who you're targeting. If you know who your target is, then you can make a better, more authentic connection with them. That's the key. And you just have to be able to speak their language. The quote goes, to know me is to love me. The more you know someone, the more they feel loved. The more they feel loved, the more they connect, the more authentic it feels. Ultimately, the more they trust you.
Do you think your 20 years in radio helped you become a better speaker and know how to connect with people? Because when you're in that, you're dealing, and I've experienced it too, where you're dealing with a plethora of different personalities. You don't know who's going to walk through the door, so you kind of have an idea. It's like, okay, like I know how to react on any given day for any personality that's walking through that door.
It definitely makes you flexible to some degree in being able to hold a conversation and keep people interested in the conversation. What I would say, and it's a good question, I'm glad you brought it up. Radio taught me more than anything, creative conversation that builds community and drives an action. I don't know if you know this, but it very much is backwards today in my philosophy of what you need first. First, you need data, and then once you have the information, data is who you are, what makes you special, what are your unique propositions, what are your competitive differentiators. Once you understand what that is, then the next thing is take that data and build an actual strategy, and not an idea in your head, a real strategy. Literally, people say, oh, I have a strategy. I say, great, email it to me, let me see it.
Yeah.
Well, it's an idea. Well, then it's not a strategy. So you take the data and you formulate, literally, just ask ChatGPT, what does a marketing strategy look like? Used to not be able to do that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
how dangerous that is?
Used to be like, I don't know how to build a strategy. You don't even need to know how to, just ask ChatGPT, build a strategy, and fill in the blanks. It's a coloring book. Fill in the blanks, that's your strategy, right? And so then you have your strategy, now you create, now you execute. Data, strategy, creative. Radio, when I first started, to answer your question, was all creative. I walked in, I turned on a mic, I was like, I gotta get people interested immediately, keep them there, and drive them to the next occasion of listening. That was my goal. And so it was a lot of creativity. I understood the consumer to a degree, I understood the value of what they wanted, but I didn't have business acumen back then. So I didn't understand driving business. I was pure entertainment.
Yeah.
There were lots of moving parts around radio and TV that helped with the business side of things. But really, it was not until I started my own agency that I learned business.
Oh yeah.
If I could redo radio today, knowing business, I think my show would be lethal. I was always top 3 to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
In any market, I was top 3 on Arbitron rated, which is now Nielsen rated, but back then they called it Arbitron. I was always top 3. I'd easily smash number 1 knowing what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
Lethal with the experience I have.
Well, at least now from the creative aspect though, you build your personality a little bit. Where
That's
like
true.
today, anybody could use chat, you know, whatever, all these AI platforms. It's scary. Because for people like us who have actually put in those years of blood, sweat, and tears and kind of built their brands the old natural way,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of people today that just get it at the tip of their fingers. Just like, oh, I'm going to do this. They can write it out for me. I don't have to use my brain anymore.
Yeah,
and it could
totally.
just pop off.
That's right.
Except maybe when you have to do like live speaking events, that's where you get exposed.
There was a shift. There was a shift for me when I was in radio. People say, "Oh, you're comfortable in front of crowds." I would go open up for Jennifer Lopez, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, like all these pop brands. I'm like, "All right, who's ready for Jennifer? Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Who's single tonight? Woo! Who just got paid? Woo!" Right, that's easy.
Right.
You're the hype man, right? That's not speaking. That's not speaking in front of crowds.
No. That's cheap pops.
You
know what
don't
to
say anything intelligent. So the day I started a marketing agency and somebody said, "Come speak to our group of 40 people," I was like, all right, and I was nervous as hell. 'Cause I was like, shit, I gotta say something important. Like, I gotta help people. I gotta say something valuable. That was a whole different ballgame for me. It was like the speak, and now I'm in front of stages with 3,000 or 4,000 people, delivering full strategy, giving tons of value. Now it's like, literally, I've done workshops where I've talked in front of hundreds of people for 6-7 hours. My voice goes out. I can't talk anymore. Like, I could just go all day because I failed. I've failed so many times. I have stories of what not to do and what you should be doing. I have years of big marketing agency experience, big brand experience, small business experience. My own businesses have gone up and down and tanked. I've hired people, I've fired people, I've been sued, I've sued other people. I mean, I've been through it.
Yeah.
So now I have the experience, so that makes it easier. I think in the beginning you're afraid to talk because you haven't experienced anything yet, you know?
Oh, you have nothing to go off of. Because you don't know what's going to relate to the audience and what will.
Yes.
You're just like, I guess, like,
That's it.
have you ever done stand-up comedy?
Hell no.
I've done stand-up comedy, and I did it specifically just to get in front of the audience and fail, like fall flat on my face. Because I'm like, if you can get someone to laugh here and actually relate to them and influence them in a way, it's like, I could do public speaking easily based on all my knowledge of whether it's podcasting, how to build a brand. And it's like, all right, go perform at a few clubs. I have a few buddies who are like, yeah, I'll give you 5 minutes.
Nice.
And just come up with whatever you can.
Did you bail?
The first set I ever did, crushed.
You did.
And it gives you that false confidence, thinking that it's going to be like that every time. The next 3 times, completely bombed. There was one time I completely forgot what I was going to say, just brain farted on stage, and I just had to improvise. But I'm just going to tell a few stories, you know, see if it hits with people. People at clubs are looking to laugh, but if you do it at an open mic, let's say they had it here at the Hot Chick, and me and you are the only ones in the audience and our backs are turned. I've had those where I'm like, all right, I just get to work on my material tonight, I guess.
Smart,
just be up there and do it. But I think if you can do stand-up comedy confidently, regardless of the outcomes of the audience, you can speak in front of anybody. Because then you eliminate that fear factor of being embarrassed.
Totally. I know a lot of people that are afraid to speak, they do improv. So kind of the same stuff.
Exactly. Oh, and that's tough. You got to stay on your feet with that
On your
too.
feet, man. Improv is a great sales strategy. If you want to be a better salesperson, go take an improv class.
And I'm sure in your experience too, speaking in front of like 5,000 people is a lot easier than speaking in front of 40 people.
It just depends. You know what I like? Somebody asked me today, I spoke with John Maxwell on stage, and somebody was like, how cool was that? Thousands of people, John Maxwell. And I said, it's great. But what I look for is not how big a room is or how small a room is. What I look for is what is the sentiment, the culture of the room. I'm looking for people that are hungry, that are aggressive, that want to learn. If you give me a room of 10 and they're like, we want to learn, I'm like, I love that room. You give me a room of 100 and they're like, all right, let's hear this guy talk. I'm just like,
you don't know who's going to be actually
I don't even want to
invested.
do it. I'd much rather just go into any room, any size. It could be 5 people where they're like, give us everything. We're ready to roll. Like, I want to learn. I just love that energy. I want to be around that energy, you know?
That's what I loved about John's mastermind in Vegas. It was so intimate.
John's the best.
As opposed to like paying a couple $1,000 to go see someone speak in front of 10,000 people. It's like, oh, I actually get to speak with everybody afterwards or beforehand.
John's the best. He's one of the most authentic guys I know. There's only a couple guys in the space making a lot of money, building a lot of education and product systems who are real human beings. John Malot's one of those. Carlos Reyes is one of those. Like, I call them friends because they're not just out trying to profit. They're literally trying
They don't have to.
They don't have to. They're trying to help more people, and I love that about them.
And you'll see them on social media too. They kind of blend in with every other like business guru. You're like, they're probably a total asshole.
I know
like,
them all.
they're awesome.
I've worked with many of them. I know them all. Some of them are good guys. They're just not authentic. I'm not saying they're all, crap guys. I'm just saying it's very rare that they are authentic. Like they're loved, and like Carlos and family is real big, and John wanting to help more people is a real thing. Like, he was there, he sees it, and he wants to yank people out of that mindset, you know? A lot of those guys use those as tactics to sell a product. Those guys don't.
I remember the first time I met John. I'm like, this guy's one of the nicest guys in the world. Like, I'm thinking like, all right, this guy's got 300,000 followers on social media. It's like, I'm gonna have to be on my A game today. He like brought his entire, like his wife, Naj, like his family, his kids, like 12 people. I'm like, oh, hey, cool.
John rolls deep, man. John rolls deep.
He's like, I can bring a few people, right? I'm like, how many people is he gonna bring? I'm like, I don't know how big this space is. And he showed up with like 12 people, like his whole OSNAP family.
You gotta run with the posse. Hey, never snap alone, man.
Never snap alone. Head on over to osnap.com/Jack O'Hara to get some product today.
There you go. You heard that on the O Show.
An ambassadorship. You want to talk more about brand building over a few games of hoops in the back?
Is that what you do?
That's what I do.
Oh.
I take the least athletic people and I bring them onto the basketball
Is it
court.
outside?
It is.
Why are you looking at me like I'm not athletic, man? I work out. What is this?
Do you shoot hoops often?
Dude, I come on a
We've had
show, he
UFC
offends me.
We've had
He says I'm
UFC
not
fighters
athletic.
in here who can't shoot a basket.
Fantastic. Those are small rims.
Let's play some pig. Let's play some
right
pig.
here.
Buck wise.
Someone's
All right, I'm gonna make you move, Buck, with your light neon shoes. Get a layup for me.
All right, there you go. Let's do it. Dude, I've got the Gucci's on.
I know. That's
Check
what your
these
light
Gucci's
neon-
out. You want me to hit a
that.
layup in the Gucci's? All right, let's go. Layup.
There's P.
Off of one.
That was easy.
Two. Okay.
Here's a shot that I like to hit. I'm gonna make you hit.
Jesus Christ.
He actually hits these too.
I just gotta make sure not to hit that.
The
Then you get in
camera?
trouble, yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
And there's a spider web, so.
No chance, man. Here you go. That's it. Right here on the line, man. Watch, he's getting his pee. He's gonna earn his pee right here. Pee.
Oh. All right, we're all
Tie
lined
game.
up.
All right, what else? What else do we want to talk about?
So,
Like
I've
smack the
heard
tie.
in many videos you talk about the proper and improper ways to interact with your audience, whether it's like an Instagram Live, it's on your stories. You'll see people being like, "Hey, everybody, just out and about with so and so," and you're like, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Nobody's actually watching. Just say what's on your mind. What's the main mission here?
About how to create content that's more compelling.
Yeah.
That's something I'm very passionate about. By the way, you guys saw me hit that eye right there, right? You got to take it again.
Oh, I did not see that at all.
Oh, I definitely. Did you have it on video? It's nailed this shot right here. This is
Okay.
your eye. There's no question. So content
Oh my
creation.
God.
There's the eye.
I wasn't even close.
Content creation
Oh.
is key. How you start, what value you give in the middle, and how you close. Getting people interested. Why is that important today? Because there's so much content, there's so much information. So like what would make anybody stop to watch our current content versus someone else's? So you've got to be able to hit impact in less than 2 seconds. That's the average time on any platform that you have, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. People give like 2-3 seconds to like, do I want to watch this or do I not? So in the first 2 to 3 seconds, you got to have value. The problem is everybody starts with what I'm doing, how I'm feeling. Let me give you an example, right? We're here today at the Hot Chick and I'm feeling good because it's so nice and we're gonna blah, blah, blah. It's like people are gone, they're out. Like, hey, I'm gonna talk to an entrepreneur today. It's gonna give you 3 tips. It's gonna tell you how to grow your business with better content. Watch, we're gonna do this in the next 60 seconds. Impact, real fast. That's social, by the way. Here's your G. Oh, so
You gotta mix it up a little bit.
You got nerve. No, that's
You're
my
just
shot.
hitting free throws.
That's
right
my
now.
shot. That's my shot. So here's the challenge is once you have impact. That looked dirty, man. Once you have impact, you got to add value. So you can't just come on real strong. I got an entrepreneur who's going to help you and give you some business advice. You actually give good business advice. That's called retention. Because if you're strong call to action, you get people excited with impact, and then you don't actually give anything that's valuable, or you don't clip your edits short enough so that it's valuable information fast. Next time you say, hey, I'm going to give away $1 million, it doesn't matter what you say. They're out. They don't trust you. They lost their trust because your information is crap. So you got to make sure you don't just have impact. Oh, that was slippery. We need new tread. I'm going to blame the ball. We need tread. Where's the mister? That's going to give me a little bit of grip.
It hits some mist.
Yeah, give me some mist for some grip. That's what it is.
All right.
That's it. Boom.
Doesn't count.
There's the G.
Doesn't count.
Oh, come on. That's the G.
Doesn't count. You missed the first shot.
All right, go for it. I want it documented right here.
I can't hit a shot.
I want it documented who won the first game of pig. It was all me. It was all me. So anyway, impact, value, credibility, and then what do you want them to do? You got to be very specific about where you want somebody to go. So it's like you're guiding people to your YouTube, and then where's your YouTube want to guide somebody? How do you build a community? Mm-hmm. Essentially, you want to go from digital to physical. You want to connect and build rapport and trust online, and then you want to make the connection. You probably have hundreds of people, thousands of people that watch your YouTube channel that you don't connect with.
That's right.
And YouTube owns the data. You don't.
That's right.
How do we get them off YouTube and let's bang a fist in person?
That's right.
Let's get them on a Zoom. Let's create a weekly Zoom call, right? I'm always driving entrepreneurs that build a big social presence. Figure out how to actually make the real connection. How do we pull? Because so Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Look, tomorrow TikTok gets shut down. You don't know them. You don't know who they are.
Yep.
Right. So like you don't own it. You got to pull them into your platform. You got to own the data, own the platform. Mm-hmm. So figure out once you've added enough value and you've grown a big enough audience, pull them off those platforms and let's get them in webinars, Zooms, events in person, local meetups, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's based on referrals too. It's like, oh, I saw Buck do this thing. Yeah, come meet Buck. And then you build that community where it's like, if your Instagram got deleted tomorrow, who do you have?
That's exactly it.
Why couldn't I hit that while we were playing pig? Now it's all going to sink in.
I don't know. This is fun though.
We're working it out. We don't know what this is yet. Sometimes I want that boxing glove to be.
That's fun.
To be fixed, because when UFC fighter comes in here and hits
He'll wreck it,
and then I beat them and it just exposes them.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. What else? What else you got for me?
So how many kids do you have?
3.
3 kids. Do any of them want to be quote-unquote influencers?
One of them, my 9-year-old, I'm teaching him to be an owner, teaching him to be an entrepreneur, unless he wants to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
But of course, I want him to be an independent business owner, and he wants to be a YouTuber. Dude, I took him to a conference down in Houston. Do you know Unspeakable?
Oh yeah.
Top 5?
Yeah.
Unspeakable did this thing in Houston. It's like, what is this thing? My 9-year-old was like, come down to Houston, Dad, I want to do this thing. I'm like, all right. So I bring him to Houston. We're in the Toyota Center. The thing has like 30,000 kids, some ridiculous number. And I'm like, okay, what are they going to do? They get on stage, they play Jenga. And whoever loses gets food dumped on their head.
I'd watch that.
I'm just like, I'm in an arena watching 2 dudes that look just like me and you, if not uglier than me and you. I mean, we're pretty handsome looking guys.
We got great beards.
This guy, he's just a normal looking average dude. And playing Jenga on stage, just rake it. So my son is like, I'm gonna do that. I'm like, all right, that's it. That's the plan.
So it's just to be doing like, I'll use them for example, like Logan and Jake Paul shit until.
Well, yeah, I don't think, he's 9, so I don't think he's found his niche.
Of course it's gonna change.
I don't know what his niche. Listen, nothing against those guys, right? But I hope that my kid has maybe a little more intention than just breaking stuff. You know, I hope, you know, I like the guys that are going around and helping other people. And,
Oh yeah.
you know, that's just a personal hope. But listen, whatever makes the kid happy, I'll
Whatever builds your brand, then you can do something that
That's
helps
exactly
everybody
right.
involved. Because
Whatever
when you're
makes
helping
them
people, it's a win-win for everybody
That's
involved.
exactly it, man. Very
Man, I
cool.
hope I'm warmed up for the next time I have to do this. This is bad. Like I said, it takes me like,
We did good. We did all right.
I think the first time I did this, I missed my first 36 shots.
For not warming up, I think we did pretty good.
Ugh.
Cool.
Hey guys, this was episode 747 with Buck Wise. Where can we, at just Buck?
Go to Instagram. This is where I talk to everybody. @AboutBuck
At About
on Instagram. That's the spot.
At About Buck, where you're gonna get a ton of freaking insight from this cat right here.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Buck Wise, for
Appreciate
coming on
it.
the platform. Next time
Thank
we're gonna
you,
have to
man.
talk about so much more.
Yeah.
Because next time we do this, we're probably gonna have a lot more
Yeah.
successful stories to
Or
tell.
rematch next time.
Yeah, maybe in like skee ball or something.
I like
You
it.
like Dance Dance Revolution?
Yeah,
we could do
let's
that
do it.
too.
Let's do it.
The girls like that one, not
Next
so
time,
much the
for
guys.
sure.
But this was episode 747 of the podcast, guys. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel @Jack O'Hara TV. Check it out.